Pro here, pro there, pro everywhere. What does it really mean to be a pro phone? And another question remains is that should you only get the pro variant of a smartphone? Because this, my friends, is the Xiaomi 13, which is currently my favorite Android device right now. And here are 5 reasons why you should get it and 2 reasons why you should probably not. Now the first reason would be the size of the phone. Now this little guy may be compact, but it does pack a punch. And let me tell you that I'm not the only one who thinks so, because I've spoken to creatives and business people alike, and they all agree that a smaller size smartphone can be just as mighty. And while some people do prefer a smaller phone like the iPhone 13 mini or the Google Pixel 7, while I did review those phones and use them daily, the Xiaomi 13 has surely stolen my heart or my pocket. Now I gotta say that the glossy white finish is giving me life. I mean, sure, the Flora green version that I got during my first impressions video is unique, but there's something about this sleek and white look that screams premium, and with this sleek and compact form factor, it's like having a tiny work of art in the palm of my hand. Now the phone's frame is also a huge plus too. It's like the phone was tailor-made to fit in my hands as well, giving me the same satisfying grip that I get from my trusty iPhone 14 Pro Max. And with the ability to reach all the corners of the screen with just one hand, I am multitasking like a pro, and this means is that I can text on one hand and eat a sandwich on the other. Now speaking of using the phone in one hand, because of how the phone is built and how it has a perfect way to it, taking photos on one hand, no problemo my friend, because this little guy stays put like a champ without slipping and sliding like a greased watermelon. And speaking of watermelon, the good news is that the phone is IP68 dust and water resistant rated as well, which is something that you wouldn't expect for a Xiaomi phone or even a non-pro variant of a smartphone. Now, since I always carry 2 phones with me all the time, which is one iPhone and one Android phone, and since the iPhone 14 Pro Max is already pretty hefty, I prefer my Android phone of choice to be light. And with this Xiaomi 13, I feel like I'm carrying around a feather. Maybe not a feather, but you get the point. Now the screen size was indeed the following reason that I love the phone. And I was a bit worried at first, given my not so pleasant experience with the screen quality on the Google Pixel 7. But let me tell you that this phone did not disappoint. With the perfect 1900 nits of peak brightness, I had no trouble using it on the sunniest of days. And speaking of brightness, the automatic brightness on the phone was as good as the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, because Samsung always does a fantastic job with their automatic brightness adjustments and of course the screen quality. And speaking of which, it also uses the high quality E6 OLED panel as well. And the 6.36 inch AMOLED display had a more uniform bezels compared to the more prominent chin on the Pro variant, as seen in my first impressions video, which indeed made me appreciate the phone even more when consuming videos on YouTube, Netflix, and also on Disney+. Now, also mentioned in my first impressions video, the Xiaomi 13 has widewide L1 playback specification on Netflix, HDR10+, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos spatial audio too, which is crazy to think within a phone of this size and price. But I know what you might be thinking, but what about resolution? Now sure, it may not have the higher WQHD Plus resolution of its Pro sibling, but let me tell you that it didn't feel any less sharp. And this 120Hz refresh rate screen is as smooth as butter. So with all these amazing movie playback specs in a phone within this size and price point, the only thing is missing is a bag of popcorn to go with it. Now the third reason is the excellent camera performance on the phone. Now just to mention the specs very quickly, the phone comes with a Leica Vario Summicron 50 megapixel IMX 800 1/1.49 inch sensor main camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, and the front camera is a 32 megapixel camera. Now sure, the Xiaomi 13 Pro has a bigger 1-inch sensor, which in return give you a more natural shallow depth of field. But to be honest, when I took pictures on the phone, it felt like I was using the Pro all the time. If it wasn't for the watermark, I could barely even tell it was on the non-Pro variant. The main lenses were amazing, and thanks to the combination of Leica and Xiaomi's image processing, you won't miss the 1-inch sensor bokeh look at all, because it still looks stunning, as you guys can see in these photos. Then the ultra-wide lenses is one of my favorites as well, capturing a perfect focal length and sharp from edge to edge without any barrel distortion. Now as predicted, I enjoyed using the Leica Vibrant all the way when I was using the phone to take photos, and I also found myself using the 35mm black and white mode, which made me appreciate appreciate black and white photography even more. Now, selfie photos on the phone were always consistently good, and that was really lovely to know, as it was a hit or miss on the last generation Xiaomi 12. The nighttime selfie photos were really amazing, and the rear was also perfect, properly balancing the shadows and highlights on how a flagship smartphone should. Now, shooting videos on the phone was also really great, and while it can go up to 8K 24 FPS. But I was really enjoying the 4K video on the rear lenses during the day and also at night, where it had one of the best quality for its segment, and the image stabilization was excellent too. And while I'm still annoyed with the fact with Xiaomi maximizing the front video recording only up to 1080p, but still overall it was looking really great, with high dynamic range when taking videos of the front camera. Now, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, a nice big thumbs up would be very much appreciated, and of course a subscription would be lovely too. Thank you so much in advance. Now, if you prefer to read this review and any other review on a text format, head on to our website at www.adamlobo.tv, and don't forget to join our Discord server to be part of the Lobo Legion community and share your love for your favorite smartphone. And here's where you can also connect with other like-minded individuals and even chat with me directly every single day. All the links will be in the description below. And as for the following reason that you should get this phone is the battery life. Now, I know what you might be wondering. Are you serious, Adam Lobo? Are you saying that a small size smartphone like this has great battery life? Well, believe it or not, it is true. Because even with such a small form factor, Xiaomi has managed to fit in a 4500 mAh of battery, which is really good for its size. And combined with the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, it does a very good job overall for the battery management of the phone, where I got an average of 6 hours and 20 minutes of screen on time when I was at 10% battery with dark mode turned on. And that was even more of a screen on time which I got compared to the larger Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Yep. Then with the included 67-watt power brick in the box, I was getting an average of 38 minutes of charging the phone from 0 to 100%, which was another plus. And while it can charge up to 50 watts of wireless charging, I usually just plug in to charge only when I'm at 10% battery, grab a quick coffee and chill, and I'm good to go. Now, before going into the final reason why you should get the phone, let's go into the negativity zone, shall we? Because here are two reasons why you should probably not get this phone. The first would be its durability. While having an IP68 rating is surely a huge reason to get the phone in terms of durability, but you see, this non-Pro version has only Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection, while the Pro variant has a way better Corning Gorilla Glass Victus protection. And let's not forget about the ceramic finish on the phone, which makes it even more durable. Now, of course, if you are the type of person who treats their phone like a newborn baby, then maybe this non-Pro version would suffice. But I highly recommend for you to be extra careful for those of you who have extreme butterfingers, because let's face it, no one wants to live with a cracked screen on your brand new phone. Now, number two would be the software experience, because this is always a sort of a love and hate relationship. They're like that one friend who always makes you to work harder to really understand them. Now, surely there are some great improvements behind the scenes optimization, but let's be honest, the real struggle for most people is MIUI. Because if you're used to Samsung's One UI or OnePlus Oxygen OS, navigating through MIUI 14 is almost like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded for first-timers, as it can take some serious getting used to. But hey, if you're a tech reviewer or someone who's used to a Xiaomi phone, then you're probably thinking MIUI 14 is totally fine, what's the big deal? Well, according to many non-Xiaomi users, the software experience can make or break the deal, and that is why I am hoping for a total revamp in MIUI 15. Now, going into the last and most obvious reason that you should get the Xiaomi 13 is of course the price. Because let's face it, great flagship phones are getting very expensive. You could either buy a new phone or pay rent this month. But with the Xiaomi 13's affordable price, you don't have to choose between having a roof over your head or having a brand new phone. Now, as of the recording of this video, the Xiaomi 13 starts with a price of 3,499 ringgit, undercutting the regular S23 by 400 ringgit, doubling the storage to 256 gigabytes of storage. And compared to the Pro variant, it starts at 4,599 ringgit, which is surely a lot more, if you do the math of course. And considering the great performance and quality of this phone, just save your money and buy the Xiaomi 13 instead. But if you want to see how the Xiaomi 13 and the Pro looks like hand in hand, check out this video over here.